Is Nike watering down the Jordan 11? I think it's time for us to have a talk about it. What's going on, everybody? How is everyone out there doing? I hope everyone is doing and feeling well. Today is going to be a great day for each and every one of us. Gotta speak these things into existence. You already know it is good vibes only, positive vibrations always. It is your girl Chance Alrell, welcoming all my good peoples back to the channel. So everyone, in today's video we are going to be talking about two Jordan 11s that are releasing later on this year. They just made an announcement, and for me personally the news was just a bit disappointing, which I will be explaining. And we're going to be talking about the state of the Jordan 11 in general and what Nike is doing with the silhouette. I definitely have a lot of things I want to talk with you all about and get your opinion on your side as well. But before we do get started with today's video, you already know the routine. Be sure to go crazy on that like button for your girl if you do like this kind of content. And if you are a first time viewer, let's go ahead and make it official. Hit that subscribe button and become a part of the family, as well as ring those bell notifications, which is very, very important. This way, whenever I do drop a new video, YouTube should send you a notification through to let you know that I did upload. But yes, I definitely have some things that I want to talk with you all about, and there's no time to waste. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, I had to go ahead and scoot over because I did want to show you all exactly what I was looking at and what I did see this morning. So first of all, huge shout out to Z Sneakerheads. Definitely one of the most, if not the most prominent sneaker news source out there, always giving us first looks on sneakers, sneaker release dates, breaking news, and all that one good stuff. So he was the first person that I did see post that this sneaker was releasing, which I'm about to show you all. So as you all can see, we have the Air Jordan 11 green screens dropping this year. It has been confirmed, alright, and it says that the sneaker is releasing on the 16th of November. Alright, so we got some special packaging and everything, which is cool, you know. We got some nice insoles, you know, in honor of the Space Jam movie. But I went back a little bit. Alright, and as you all can see, it says that the Space Jam Galaxy 11 is no longer releasing this holiday. And what are we getting instead of the Space Jam Galaxy 11s? We're getting the green screens. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the Space Jam Galaxy is like an absolute must-have for me, like I was gonna absolutely have to get that sneaker. It definitely wasn't anything like that. But for me personally, I do think that this sneaker has a lot more potential and a higher ceiling than the Jordan 11 green screen. Like, I am just not a fan of this shoe. I've seen a lot of people in the comments actually talking about how this shoe has a resemblance to that of the Gatorade 6 in like a similar colorway. But that's not what I think when I see this shoe. At least the Gatorade 6s, you know, had the orange and the clear soles, and the green kind of contrasting each other, you know, helping that sneaker pop. You know, actually had a Gatorade colorway. This shoe, this is an all green shoe. No hits of color anywhere on the shoe, not on the Jordan logo, not on our midsoles, nowhere. No, the laces are green, everything is just green. Like, this is a very, for me personally, I feel like this is a very bland shoe. I think that they didn't put too much creativity into making this shoe, and I just found that to be a bit disappointing, because I think that I would have personally preferred for them to release the Space Jam Galaxies. Like, I just want to know what's the reason. Why do we choose to scrap the Space Jam Galaxies and drop the green screen? I seen somebody also in the comments has said the packaging is nice. The packaging and the details on the shoe box and the paper wrap is nicer than that of the actual shoe. I agree. And you know, you have hits of, let's see where it's at. You have hits of orange at the bottom, but when you're rocking the shoe, nobody's gonna see the bottom of the shoe. You're gonna see green. That's what you're gonna see when you see this shoe. And it's a Jordan 11. It's a tradition, a holiday tradition to drop a nice pair or two of Jordan 11s. This is what we're getting. Well, Chance, the shoe has glow in the dark outsoles, and that's cool. You know, trust me, when it comes to glow in the dark, that glow in the dark feature on a sneaker, that is definitely one of my favorite features that a sneaker can have. But not even the glow in the dark soles can save this shoe for me. So I definitely will be passing on this shoe when these do drop. But yes, with a retail price point of $255. $255 for an all green shoe? I mean, what are we supposed to do? What does Nike expect us to do with this shoe? Put some yellow laces in the sneaker to help the shoe pop? I mean, then we have Sprite 11s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. When I seen this, I was just like, you know, the Space Jam Galaxy 11 was a potential cop for me, but the green screens are an easy pass for your girl. So alongside the green screen 11s that are dropping in November, we do also have the Space Jam 11s that are releasing this December. And to be honest with you all, as iconic of a colorway and shoe as the Space Jam 11 is, I'm not even so sure I'm going to be going after a pair of those this year. I do still have my 2016 version of the Space Jam 11s, and honestly, they're actually in pretty bad condition because I was wearing them in places and in weather conditions that I shouldn't have been wearing them. So the soles didn't hold up so well, to say the least. And I know some of you all are probably like, well, then why not get a pair? The shoe did come out 10 years ago. Well, I'm gonna tell you why. I don't know how many of you all remember this release, but they did drop the Space Jam 11 low just 2 years ago. And the reason I did pick up this sneaker is because my Space Jam, my 2016 Space Jam 11s aren't in good condition. So I'm like, you know, 11 lows aren't, just Jordan 11, regular Jordan 11s, but some colorways are definitely nice, and why not go ahead and get a pair of these? And just 2 years later, they're like, okay, let's release the Space Jam 11 hot tops again, but this time we're gonna have the 23 on it instead of the 45 on it. So if you have a good pair, if you have a Space Jam 11 in good condition with the 45, you're gonna want this pair because this one has a 23 on it. Like, let's stop playing these games. Let's just stop. Cut it out. Let's wrap it on up. But yes, we will see how that release goes. You know I'm talking now, but maybe, just maybe, we shall see. Maybe I'll go after a pair of those Space Jams come this December, but as of right now, I'm not for sure. When it comes to Jordans 1 through 14, I always felt like the Jordan 11 was Jordan Brand's sacred model, and it's always been my personal favorite Jordan silhouette for as long as I can remember, like dating all the way back to 2012 when the Bread 11s dropped for Christmas, and how just in awe and amazed I was with that sneaker. I've been in love with the silhouette ever since, but as of lately, I feel like they're oversaturating the shoe by just dropping an excessive amount of colorways, and most of the colorways are mediocre at best. It's sad to see because I feel like the Jordan 11 was like the last shoe that they kind of like didn't oversaturate. You know, you got the Jordan 1s, they released 1,000,001 colorways to that silhouette. Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, Jordan 5s, so on and so forth. Just so many colorways to the same silhouette. It ultimately just kind of waters down the shoe and makes you appreciate the shoe less and less every time you see another colorway come out for the shoe. And now I feel like they're really doing that to the Jordan 11. Not my babies, not my 11s. Crazy times. Even just last year, do you all remember how many colorways they released last year for the Jordan 11 silhouette? They released like 9 pairs at one time. You had the Jordan 11 Jubilee colorway release. That was a pass. I was cool on those. You had the Rare Airs release. The colorway was actually pretty decent on that shoe, but there were a couple details that I weren't too fond of with that one, so ultimately I ended up passing on that. But you had the H-Towns, not for me. You had the Mojaves. That was actually decent. You know, that colorway was actually pretty decent to me. The purple, the majority purple with the black. I actually, if I were to have bought a Jordan 11 out of like the 9 or 10 or however many they released in that pack, I probably would have bought the Mojaves because those were pretty decent. But ultimately I ended up passing on that as well. You had the China colorway. Like, come on. Those are just a few that I named out of the many that they released. And it's funny because the shoe that everyone wanted was the Gammas. They could have just gave us the Gamma 11s and kept the rest of those colorways, because I think I'm speaking for the people when I say we didn't need them. Not all of them, at least. Like, sheesh. Slow down a bit, slow down. All of those shoes ended up sitting, and the Gamma 11s, you know, one of the most beloved Jordan 11 colorways, a lot of people actually weren't even able to get the Gamma 11s. So I feel like they could have just produced more pairs of the Gamma 11s and gave everyone an opportunity to grab that shoe instead of just dropping a few pairs of Gammas, a few pairs of this colorway, a few pairs of that colorway. We just wanted the Gammas, you know. So that's just my thoughts on that. But that's just the regular Jordan 11s. That's not even mentioning all of the low top 11s that they have begun to release throughout the course of the year. Last year there were quite a few Jordan 11 low colorways. For example, one of them that I can think off the top of my head was the Jordan 11 low Mother's Day. Matter of fact, let me pull this pair out real quick. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. How many of you all remember this shoe when this shoe dropped back in 2016? This is the Jordan 11 low gold medals. These actually, I've worn this shoe a couple times. They're actually in pretty good condition, you know, be it that they have the clear outsoles on the bottom of the shoe, but these still look pretty good. But yeah, so last year they dropped the Mother's Day, so they took the gold medal shoe, they changed the color on the shoe, they tweaked it by a shade or two, they made it like a shade or two lighter, added a little hang tag on the shoe, changed the name of the shoe, and resold the sneaker. And what happened? Those ended up sitting as well. And that's what I'm saying, when you do that, you know, you kind of just watered down the gold medals. They basically just made the same shoe, and they're like, well, if you have the gold medals, you have to get this one because it's just a little bit different. The shade of gold is a little different than the last pair. Like, no, no, not going for it. But yeah, like I said, they've begun to release quite a bit of Jordan 11 lows throughout the year alongside the regular Jordan 11s. It's like, come on now. You know, it was one thing when Nike was releasing Jordan 11 colorways like the Win Like 96. How many of you all remember that shoe? To me, those were fire. I used to rock that pair back in high school. They had the actual Jordan 11 outfits to come out with the shoes and everything. Like, good times. Good times. You know, that's what I'm saying. Even thinking about that, how they had the Jordan 11 outfit. I'll even put up a picture to show you all me rocking that whole outfit. Like, you know, it just felt like there was more intention behind each release, and you know, it just kind of made every Jordan 11 release just that much more significant to me, whereas of now it's starting to feel like more of a money grab and less about the actual sneaker itself. You know, it's no time and effort being put into the shoe, no time spent on the creative process of the Jordan 11. That's just what it's starting to feel like. Even the Win Like 82, that was a fire colorway, and again, they had released like a Jordan, I know that they at least released a Jordan jacket to match up with that shoe as well, you know. So like I said, now it's just different. And this Jordan 11 releases to me just don't feel the same. They're not hitting the same. Like once upon a time, not too long ago, you know, it's almost like a tradition. Like you waited all year long. You got all these different Jordan silhouettes that dropped, but you have to wait until the holidays. You gotta wait until Christmas to get that special Jordan 11. And like I said, now it's just like, oh, here, take these. We got a purple pair, we have a red pair, an all red pair, all orange pair, all blue pair, you know, every color of the rainbow. We're just gonna go down the list and make one in every color. Like, what's going on? I need to know. I need to know. And not only are the colorways becoming mediocre, but they've also changed up the materials on the shoe. If you all have noticed, you know, they left off the patent leather off the Jordan 11, which is the Jordan 11 signature. You know, you got the patent leather on the shoe. That's what helps the sneaker pop. That's the sneaker's glow, that shine and that gloss. That's what make the sneaker hot. Like the Midnight Navy 11s, no patent leather. Again, the Mojaves, no patent leather. The H-Towns, no patent leather. That's just, I'm just naming a few. There's plenty more colorways that don't have the patent leather on it. So I don't know. I feel like we're just getting away from what made the Jordan 11 so great. And not only that, but they're hiking up the prices every single year. I guess they seen people complaining about the Jordan 11's price point of $255. Last year the Gammas dropped for $235. That was already pricey enough. This year they want to release the Space Jams for $255, but like I said, I think they seen people online not too happy about that, so they went back down to $235. But that's funny though, because the green screens that they just announced, those have a price point of $255. So I wonder if they'll keep that price point or if they'll drop that one down too. But I think that would be actually hilarious if the green screens retailed for $255 and the Space Jams retailed for $235. But I'm not so sure about that, but we shall see. You know, I was definitely a happy camper when they were releasing like Bread 11s, Cool Gray 11s. That they released the Cool Gray 11s not too long ago. The Columbia 11s, the Gamma 11s, you know, like I mentioned, the Win Like 96 11s, the Cherry 11s. That's a super clean, that's a very clean 11 right there. But I was a happy camper with those releases, but now, like I said, I just feel like we're getting away from top tier Jordan 11 releases like those. And I feel like I'm actually really curious to see how the Space Jam 11s do. I've seen a lot of like 50-50 comments on the shoe, on, you know, not as far as the shoe being nice, because I think that, you know, most people are in agreement that the Space Jam 11 is a classic colorway. But I think that, you know, with the combination of a lot of people maybe still having the 2016 pair of Space Jam 11s, or you picked up the low top Space Jams like I did, and the sneaker having a price point of $235, I've seen a lot of people saying that this year is going to be a pass. So I wonder if this shoe is going to sell out. You know, I would like to think so. I mean, it is the Space Jam, but we shall see. I definitely don't think it's going to be as sought after as the Gammas was last year. You know, especially because the Gammas haven't released for like, those released like what, 2013? Something like that. Yeah, I think December 2013. It was around that time for sure. So that was a while ago. But we've got a couple Space Jam releases within the last 10-year period. So we shall see. But I think that's going to be the last, you know, the last straw. Once Jordan 11 stops selling, I feel like Nike really has a problem on their hands, because like I said, that is the sacred Jordan model. And I'm not saying that because it's my personal favorite Jordan model. I mean, like I said, you know, you get all these different releases throughout the course of the year, but you have to wait until December for the Jordan 11s, and you always only got 1 to 2 pairs. Like I said, it was always tradition, and I always said you save the best for last. So it's not just because it's my favorite silhouette that I'm saying that, but that shoe stopped selling. That's going to be a sad day for Nike. But yes, everyone, I did say all that to ultimately get back to the question at hand, and that is Nike watering down the Jordan 11? You know, I gave you all my opinion and how I felt about the situation, but I know everyone is entitled to feel how they feel, and you all have your opinion on the topic as well. And I really am curious to see what you all think about, you know, the state of the Jordan 11. Is it just me? Am I the only one that feels this way about them releasing too many colorways to the shoe, and, you know, the colorways just being okay sometimes? Or are you all happy that they're releasing so many Jordan 11 colorways? You know, it makes it easier to cop Jordan 11s and things like that. So like I said, I know everyone has their own story and their own opinion to tell about the Jordan 11s, and so go ahead and share how you all feel with your girl in the comment section down below. I will be sure to go through and see what everyone has to say, but that is pretty much a wrap for today's video. Before I did go, I did want to thank each and every one of you who took the time out of your day to tune into the video and had this conversation with your girl. But I definitely have plenty more content coming your way, and soon plenty more heat for the feet and all that good stuff. So definitely be on the lookout for your girl. You all make sure you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. It is your girl Chance Real, and we out.